Hello students, welcome to my class. So in this video, we'll be studying about some of the important named reactions under reduction reaction. First one is Birch reduction. So in Birch reduction, the aromatic hydrocarbons, they are reduced with lithium and liquid ammonia. That is Birch reduction. That is, we are taking aromatic hydrocarbon. They are undergoing reduction. What is the reagent we are using in Birch reduction? That is lithium in liquid ammonia in the presence of alcohol. So here you can see we have taken a benzene on reduction on undergoing Birch reduction. It will give us 1,4 dihydrobenzene. What is a reaction mechanism? As you know that in benzene there is delocalization of electron. That is, this double bond is not restricted between these two carbon. It can move, and hence benzene can have different resonance structures. Correct. So first step is this bond will shift here, and so because this bond is shifting here, this bond will further shift onto this carbon as a minus charge. Okay, so this carbon now will get a minus charge, and in the same step what happens, a lithium that is present in the reaction mixture will transfer one of its electron to carbon number 1. So carbon number 1 will get one odd electron, and here on carbon number 2, 3, 4, 4 there is a minus charge because this bond shifting of the pi bond in the benzene has taken place. So here there is a minus charge. Next, since we are doing this in the presence of alcohol or protic solvent, it will give one proton to this particular carbon, that is fourth carbon will receive a proton, and there it will go and attach. The proton will go and attach. And in the third step, once again, lithium ion present in the solution will give another electron to carbon number 1. So it already had one of the electron. One more is given by lithium, so it will get a minus charge. And finally, that also will be protonated by protic solvent, and it will get a H. So this is a mechanism. It is a very simple reaction mechanism of Birch reduction. So you know that two types of group can be substituted on benzene. One is the electron withdrawing group and electron donating group. So if the substituent present on the benzene is an electron withdrawing group like COH or cyanide or nitro group, then they stabilize the anionic intermediate. That is, the anionic intermediate that is formed here is stabilized if the group attached here is an electron withdrawing group. Whereas if it is an electron releasing group like OH or NH2 or NR2, then destabilization of the intermediate takes place. And if the solubility in liquid ammonia is poor, that is, we do this reaction in liquid ammonia, but if the solubility is poor, this reaction can also be done in the presence of DMF or THF, that is tetrahydrofuran. So here are some examples of Birch reduction. So here you can see in example number 1, we are using a group like COOH, which is an electron withdrawing group. So it stabilizes the intermediate that is formed. So if a group used is a stabilizing group, or the group which is electron withdrawing, or the one which stabilizes the anionic intermediate, this is the type of product that we get. That is, one H present next to the functional group only will be there, like this type of product. Whereas if we are using an electron donating group which destabilizes the anionic intermediate, this is the type of product that we get. So do you get the difference? Now here, this H here won't be reduced, whereas these two, this position and this position is reduced, whereas here this position and this position. So the position where the reduction is taking place is changed depending upon what group is attached. So here this is a destabilizing group, this is a stabilizing group. So stabilizing group position preferred is 1 and 4, whereas destabilizing group position preferred is 2 and 5. Okay, so these are some of the examples wherein we can examples of Birch reduction. So we get a 1,4 product if it is a stabilizing group, whereas if we are taking a destabilizing group, what product do we get? We get a 2,6 product. So depending upon the group that is attached, you can predict what type of product is formed. And sodium in liquid ammonia, it cannot reduce isolated double bonds. As we saw previously, the double bonds that are isolated cannot be reduced, but if the double bond is present in conjugation or if it is present in terminal position, that is in the beginning, then it can be reduced. So here you can see here the double bond is present in conjugation, so it can be reduced, and it is present in terminal position in this example, so it can be reduced. Next, another important reaction under reduction is Clemenson's reaction. So, when a carbonyl compound is reduced in the presence of zinc or mercury in the presence of concentrated HCl, the C double bond O, the ketonic group, is reduced to an alkyl group like CH2. That is nothing but your Clemenson's reduction. Here, majorly, what we are doing, we are reducing the C double bond O group to CH2. And what is the reagent that is used in Clemenson's reduction? We are using concentrated HCl and zinc Hg combination. So some of the example of an acetophenone reduced to this group, that is C double bond O, is converted into CH2. Same way here also the C double bond O group is converted to CH2. So what is the reaction mechanism here? First is there is a shift of the pi bond here. Pi bond shifts onto oxygen, so oxygen gets a minus charge and carbon here gets a plus charge. And then there is enough proton present in the solution because of concentrated HCl. So HCl will give H plus ions. This H plus, one of the H plus ion is transferred onto oxygen because oxygen has a minus charge. So we get a OH here. Now, zinc that is present in the reaction medium, it transfers both of its electron to this carbon. It gives both of its electron to the carbon, so carbon gets a minus charge. And in the next step, what happens is that two protons are once again given from HCl, concentrated HCl. There are many protons that are present in the solution because of concentrated. We are doing this reaction in the presence of concentrated HCl solution. So two more protons are given. One proton will attach to the carbon here, and one more proton will attach to the oxygen here. So what do we get? One proton is attached over here. One OH we already had. One more proton got attached, so we get OH2. Now this whole thing, that is H2O, will go out as water. So what do we get now? This carbon will get a plus charge again. Once again in this step, zinc that is present in the reaction medium will give two more electrons to this carbon. So it will get a minus charge. And next, one more proton is given from the reaction medium to this carbon. So there the H will go and attach. So that C double bond group is now converted to CH2 group. This is a mechanism of Clemenson's reduction. Next is another very important reaction. All these named reactions, they are very important. That is Wolff-Kirschner's reaction. So when a carbonyl compound is reduced in the presence of hydrazine and a strong base, we get that is C double bond. This is a reduction of carbonyl compound in the presence of hydrazine and strong base. So we're reducing this ketonic group to CH2 group. You can see C double bond group in the presence of hydrazine. What is hydrazine? NH2 bond NH2. In the presence of a strong base, we get this C double bond group is converted into CH2 group. So next is, how is the reaction mechanism of Wolff-Kirschner's reaction mechanism. So first take your ketonic group, and step number one is we are taking hydrazine, that is NH2 NH2. So you can see here we are taking the hydrazine. What happens is that NH2 NH2, it attacks onto this oxygen, and one of the H2 from here will go out and oxygen will go out from here. They will combine together as water, and there is elimination of water in step number one. What are we left with? N bond NH2. That N NH2 will directly attach here to the carbon. So only this oxygen will go out with one of the H2 as water, and this NH2 will attach here. So we will get C double bond NH2. Now coming to why are we telling we have to take a strong base here? This NH2 that is present, it is not a very good proton donor. It is a poor proton donor. So it won't give out H plus ion easily, And you know that base have the property to abstract proton. Base can abstract a proton. So since this NH2 will not give out this proton easily, and since base can abstract proton, we are using a very strong base like KOH or NaOH in order to remove one of the proton from here. So I took KOH in this case. The OH minus ions of the base will abstract one proton from here. So what is left? One H plus will go out. So N will be left with negative charge. Since it was NH2 before, now since one proton, what that is one H left as H plus ion, N will be left with a negative charge. Now we have only NH left. Okay. In the next step, what happens is that this minus charge on nitrogen will be shifted between these two nitrogens. So simultaneously, this other side, the pi bond gets shifted on carbon. Since this bond is shifting here, there is further shifting throughout the chain. This bond between carbon and nitrogen is shifted on carbon. So carbon here will get a partial negative charge. When we do hydrolysis, you know that water dissociates to give H plus and OH minus ion. The H plus part of the water will come and attach to this carbon here. Okay, and in the next step, once again, there is a base present in the reaction medium. Base once again abstracts one more proton from here. The same step that happened till here will happen one more time here. That is nothing but Wolff-Kirschner's reduction. So here, once again, the base will abstract the second proton present on nitrogen. So nitrogen will once again get a minus charge. As soon as nitrogen gets a minus charge, it will shift that charge between this nitrogen, the second nitrogen. So there is a new bond formation. Now we have N triple bond N that can go out as nitrogen gas, correct? So as soon as this bond shifts here, this bond of the on nitrogen number 2 will shift this bond onto carbon. So there is a breakage, bond breaking here, and this part will go out as N2 or nitrogen gas. So here now the carbon has a minus charge. Once again, on hydrolysis with water, water will give H plus ion, and that H plus ion will come and sit here in this position. So we finally get a CH2 group in the place of C double bond O group. This is nothing but Wolff-Kirschner's reduction. So here we can also use ethylene glycol as a solvent for this particular reaction, and this reaction is done at high temperature. Next, another reducing agent that we're using here is diimide, that is reduction with diimide. First of all, how is diimide prepared? It is prepared by in situ oxidation of hydrazine. Hydrazine we studied in previous case. What is it? NH2 bond NH2. When NH2 bond NH2, that is hydrazine, is made to undergo in situ oxidation, what do we get? We get an diimide. And what is the property of diimide? It can reduce multiple bonds which are symmetric, that is C double bond C or C triple bond C, N double bond N, or O double bond O. All such bonds which are symmetric can be reduced, but it cannot reduce unsymmetric double bonds. That is, when two different types of heteroatoms are attached, that becomes an unsymmetric double bond. So such double bonds cannot be reduced. It can only reduce symmetric multiple bonds. So C double bond O or N double bond O or C double bond N, all these unsymmetric bonds cannot be reduced by diimide. So what is the mechanism of diimide addition? How does reduction with diimide take place? Is diimide, here you can see there is an intermediate formation, that is there's a pi bond here, so carbon already has 4 bonds, but there is an intermediate weak force hydrogen bonding taking place here between the hydrogen of the diimide and these two carbon atoms, and finally this double bond will break off and the hydrogens will attach here, giving us N2 and the alkane. The alkane is obtained from alkenes. So this is mechanism of diimide addition. So these are some of the examples of reduction with diimide. So you can see here symmetric, anywhere where symmetric double bond is there, their diimide can undergo reduction, that carry out reduction. So here this symmetric bond, so reduction, we get NH and NH. Same way here there is a symmetric double bond, so here it is reduced to CH to CH2. Here there is a symmetric double bond, so we get single bond here. Same way, this one species when it is reduced with diimide or and other heterogeneous catalyst like palladium. Here you can see that diimide is very selective. It won't reduce this epoxide ring. Whereas when you're taking a heterogeneous catalysis, what happens? This epoxide ring is reduced to alcohol. Whereas diimide, you know that it won't reduce any unsymmetric bonds. So this is unsymmetric in nature, it will not go to reduce it. But here there is a symmetric bond between carbon, these two carbons. So it will reduce this. It will not even reduce this part, that is a C double bond, a ketonic group, because it is formed between carbon and oxygen, and this is an unsymmetric bond. Even this bond is not reduced because it is unsymmetric in nature. So here only symmetric bond is this one. So that is only selectively reduced by diimide, whereas when we take an heterogeneous catalyst, say like palladium, it will reduce all the other bonds as well. So if you have to carry out selective reduction, then you can use diimide as a catalyst. Next is the reduction of borane and its derivative. One of the borane derivative, that is sodium borohydride, we already studied previously. How does it carry out the reduction? That is a reduction in the presence of sodium borohydride. It is done by hydrate transfer mechanism. We also studied the mechanism of reduction by sodium borohydride. But in case of boranes, the BH3, it is electron deficient. So it will attack the electron rich center. So here the mechanism is not a hydride transfer mechanism, because BH3 here is electron deficient, hence it will attack the electron rich center. Borane in the form of diborane, it is a very good reducing agent, and it can reduce a number of unsaturated functional group. How is it prepared? It is prepared by the reaction of boron trifluoride with sodium borohydride. So if we have to prepare diborane, it is prepared by the reaction of boron trifluoride with sodium borohydride. And BH3 by itself, it is unstable, so in the form, it is stable in the form of BH3 dot SME2. Two methyl groups and one sulfur group is required to stabilize this group, because in the form of BH3 it is not very stable, it does not exist in this form. And when it is present in the form of BH3SME2, it is stable as well as soluble in several organic solvents. So diborane reductions are carried out in anhydrous conditions, and finally we do the last step. What we do is we do hydrolysis, and this is very selective. It is selectively reduces the carboxylic acids and carbonyl groups especially. So diborane, they act as reducing agent for carbonyl groups even in the presence of ester and nitro groups. That is, if there are multiple functional groups present, diborane can specifically reduce the carbonyl groups. So B2H6, being the Levy's acid, attacks the electron rich center, because this is electron deficient. It will attack the electron rich center, whereas sodium borohydride, being electron deficient, it how does it attack? It reduces the sodium borohydride, it reduces the electron deficient center by hydride transfer mechanism. Okay, so both of them, that is B2H6, works in a different mechanism. It attacks the electron rich center, whereas the sodium borohydride, it attacks or reduces the electron deficient center. Here it goes by hydride mechanism, but this one, there is a attack to the electron rich center. So here you can see one of the example here. There is a carbonyl group present, COOH. So we studied that it selectively reduces the carboxylic acid groups or carbonyl groups present in the organic compound. So COOH is reduced to CH2OH. Same way here in this example, you can see there is a carbonyl group that is present. It's selectively reduced by the diborane species, and amides, they are reduced to amides. Here in this particular example, there was a ketonic group C double bond of group. Here it got reduced to CH2 group. Same CH2 group here. Same way here in the presence of COH group got reduced to CH2OH. So it is very specific. It will reduce what and all groups. One is a carboxylic acid and specifically carbonyl groups like ketonic groups. So after this, we are discussing few small reducing agents that are also there in this particular unit. One is Stephen's reduction. It is done in the presence of SnCl2 and HCl. So that's a catalyst used in Stephen's reduction. It is specifically used. All these groups, they are very specific in. They do not do reduction of all the unsaturated groups, but they are very specific in their reduction action. So here in Stephen's reaction, it reduces the nitrogen containing group. Usually the NO2 nitro group is reduced to amine groups. Okay, so here RC triple bond N is reduced to RCH double bond NH. Okay, which on further reduction will give aldehyde. Same way, the here the nitro group is converted to NH2 group. Once again, here the nitro group is converted to NH2 group. Other few reducing agents like maybe SN in the presence of HCl can also undergo reduction, can convert NO2 group here into NH2 group. Okay, and also zinc in NaOH has a capability to convert NO2 to NH2 group. One more reducing agent that we can use is trialkylsilane. It can carry out reduction in the presence of transition metals. So they can reduce alkynes to alkenes, ketones to alcohol, aromatic imides to amides, and esters to aldehyde, and acid chlorides to aldehyde. So there are a lot of examples given for this particular reduction. We can also take sodium metabisulfite, which can also convert the NH2 group to NO2, the nitro group to NH2 group, can reduce the ketonic group in the aromatic ring to OH. And one more example is sodium hydrosulfide, that is NaSH or NaHS, that can specifically reduce the nitro group to amine group. That is here the two NO2 and NO2 group is reduced to NH2 group here. Okay, so it can reduce one nitro group at a time. So these are some examples. Mainly here, what you need to know is the named reactions involving reduction, like Clemenson's reduction, or maybe Birch reduction, or Wolff-Kirschner's reaction are some of the main reactions here. So with this, we have actually completed the reduction reactions topic completely. So thank you for attending my class. Take care and bye.